There's two levels of God. When someone says they're an atheist, in my opinion, a substitute word could be an idiot. And usually they don't mean it. What is it? When he says, I don't believe in God, what do you mean? You mean that the world is an accident, that there is no mastermind, there is no planner. With the advancement of science every year, that statement becomes increasingly ridiculous. Until we say, Ish ba'ar lo yedav, sil lo yamin, it says. A person who is an idiot who doesn't understand that God's the creator and the song of the planet. There are other problems. What they really, I think, are bothered by is not, is there a God? That's obvious and common. But does that God care what you do and what happens to you? That's not common sense. And you can also interpret David's words in the Psalm for Shabbat. It occurred to me this week that a simple person cannot understand this, that the wicked are like grass, which quickly grows and dies, and the righteous are like a palm tree, which over a long period gives fruit. A person must be sophisticated, must be deep to understand this. It's not easy to understand how God works in the world. It is easy to understand that there is a God in the world. So the way that human beings work, in my opinion, the true development of man is a series of steps. The first step is get the facts straight. Before you think, know the facts. The first and most overwhelming fact in all of reality is that there is a God. To say that the world is an accident is ludicrous. Now, once there is a God, the rest of man's life is then devoted to trying to figure out just what is he? What does he want from me? What's this whole world about? Sweet mystery of love and life, can I find you? And the rest of man's life is to explore this question. How does he find out about God? How does he learn God's way?
And thank you, everybody. It's hard to add on to things that were said, so what I started to say is I wish he held on to the Pontiac and Cadillac a little further on, although everybody was impressed from a bicycle. But I can definitely appreciate and cannot get yet to the point of really understanding that a Cadillac and Pontiac is nonsense, which is pretty amazing. So 10 minutes of a few words. הלל אומר, אוהב את תלמידיו של אהרון, אוהב שלום ורודף שלום, אוהב את הבריות ומקרבן לתורה. A few of these words are also on the tombstone of reflecting אבא. הוא היה אומר, אם אין אני לי, מי לי? He was a man who really took care of himself from nothing. ואני לכשעצמי, מה אני? Himself, he wasn't about himself, he was about others. So, the next generation, רבן יוחנן בן זכאי קיבל מהלל ומשמאי. הוא היה אומר, אם למדת תורה הרבה, אל תחזיק טובה לעצמך, כי לכך נוצרת. The Torah that came out of him didn't brag about it. It was just coming out, sharing with everybody from all levels. It wasn't about him. It wasn't about an ego, which is also a very big disease in the knowledgeable world. It was just about sharing. 5 תלמידים היו לו לרבן יוחנן בן זכאי, ואלו הן רבי אליעזר בן הורקנוס ורבי יהושע בן חנניה ורבי יוסי הכהן ורבי שמעון בן נתנאל ורבי אלעזר בן ערך. הוא היה מונה שבחן. רבי אליעזר בן הורקנוס, בור סוד שאינו מאבד טיפה. רבי יהושע בן חנניה, אשרי יולדתו. רבי יוסי הכהן, חסיד. רבי שמעון בן נתנאל, ירא חטא. ורבי אלעזר בן ערך, מעיין המתגבר. מעיין המתגבר, it's not like a bowl, and not like a be'er, not like a well, and not like a cistern. A spring, מעיין המתגבר, is something that gives and gives and gives out. Torah outreach program. That is Ma'ayan. So it's a mural in the house that's on the slide behind me, giving the message to anyone who comes home. And the shop that was mentioned for our outreach program. Something that comes from inside and constantly coming out, just like a spring. Being accessible, not bragging about what you know, is also being able to make a long story short. And there were a few messages that were important enough to make very short, very accessible to everyone. So we collected a few stickers, and I'll say a few words about the different chazal. Keep the seven, go to heaven. We talked about talking on eye level to non-Jews passing by on Chabad Street. So this was a sticker talking to non-Jews of how to connect to truth. Again. And I chose here one of his favorite spots, the stained glass window from the National Library. Well, not the window, he came to hear classes at the National Library in Van Leer and Mount Scopus and in this center and in the Bet Knesset HaGadol, wherever he could, as was mentioned here. But here in the National Library, you see on the left all these trails in different languages, in Latin, in Greek, in Arabic, in Syrian. והלכו עמים רבים ואמרו, לכו ונעלה אל הר אדוני אל בית אלוהי יעקב, ויורנו מדרכיו, ונלכה באורחותיו. כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים. מציון יוצא תורה, מציון יצאה תורה. Speaking of Zion, כי בחר אדוני מציון איבה למושב לו. Okay, so let's take this pasuk from Tehillim and make it accessible to everybody. God is a Zionist, but of course a religious Zionist. הקדוש ברוך הוא ציוני דתי, talking to Israelis, גר ותושב you said, so talking to everybody. מי שמאמין שהיהודים צריכים לגור בישראל ולשלוט בה לפי תורתו, אי אפשר לגור בה בלי לשלוט בה, עיין בתנ"ך, טק, 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 בראשית, שמות, דברים, ישעיהו, ירמיהו, עמוס. Remember, there's a message, it's clear. It was clear to Abba, and he wanted it to be clear because not everybody goes to read all these places out all sides. I know so many secular Jews that can be so critical on the non-secular, and so many religious Jews that can be critical of conservative, and the conservative that can be critical of reform. And everybody knows to be critical of a few sides, but being critical of all sides. So he said, God is a Zionist. But wait a minute, what's the problem of Zionism? Hamabul, excuse me, it's just easier in Hebrew and also better. המבול בימי נוח התחיל בבית וחשוון, התרנב, כאשר השחית כל בשר את דרכו על הארץ, מחו נגד גסות מערבית ופורנוגרפיה בטלוויזיה הישראלית, התחליף המעציב לתורה בעיצוב נשמותיהם של ישראל. It hurt. So Zionist and yet hurting when things are not going in the way they should to make the role model that he wished to be part of and did his best to be part of. להיות עם חופשי בארצנו is not enough. And this is also one of the last slides. להיות עם קדוש בארצנו. להיות אדם קדוש, להיות עם קדוש, as an inspiration, something to try to get to. Of course, Rabbi Soloveitchik was mentioned here quite a bit, and the covenant of destiny, and not of fate only. are terms that Rabbi Soloveitchik talks about, Brit Ye'ud, Uvrit Goral. The covenant of fate brings us together. The covenant of destiny is where we're going.
There is a rejection by that world of Rav Kook and his followers, Reb Soloveitchik and his followers, and the Lubavitcher Rebbe and his followers. And I try to think, what is the common denominator of those three? The common denominator is they are all people of Torah and Derech Eretz. The Lubavitcher Rebbe and Reb Soloveitchik, the only two Jewish leaders who most of the Jews today have heard of even, who are not just leaders of Orthodoxy, but leaders of the whole Jewish people in some meaningful sense, are the only two of the great Talmidei Chacham who have university degrees from very fine universities. Rav Kook also was a man who may not have taken a formal degree, but was heavily knowledgeable in all secular knowledge. So it seems what you have is a world which views the written text of the Torah and the formal observance of mitzvahs, of ritual mitzvahs, as virtually the entire Torah, other than being a decent person. They certainly would believe in that too. And then there's another world which is in line with what I just described in the Abarbanel, which believes that the Torah must be coupled with every realm of life. As the little sign over there says, Yafet Talmud Torah im Derech Eretz, from Pirkei Avot. Beautiful, true human beauty comes when the learning of Torah is joined with all ways of the world. That the Torah is not to be a substitute for life, but that which sanctifies it. And it's interesting, in the very accounts of the formation of the human, not just the Jewish, personality and embryo in the womb, in those very accounts, all yeshivas quote that God has an angel teach the whole Torah to the little child when it's in the womb. It doesn't say Jewish child either. Holds a candle over him and teaches him the whole Torah. The world is founded on the Torah. The Torah is of relevance to every human being. That's quoted everywhere. The second part of it is usually not quoted. The second part is the angel takes him on a grand tour. He shows him from one end of the world to the other. That's the part that's usually not quoted. So you have a double function of the angel, Torah and Derech Eretz. And looking at it maybe in a broader educational sense, every school that really is alive, a popular school, not a technical specialist school, must have an audiovisual department. It's not enough just to have words and books. They have things which engage all the senses in the learning process. And sometimes one picture is worth 1,000 words. And certain experiences may be worth more than the words. Sometimes, more important than just reading how great are your works, God, is actually to take a trip under the ocean. Very few of us can do that. Not everybody can dive. Not everybody can get to the diving place. Not everybody has the money for the diving equipment. So God, in this age, when it's time to put it all together, gave us a great gift called television. Everyone can watch Jacques Cousteau go under the sea. And they can see everything in absolutely magnificent fashion. And seeing that life under the sea, or seeing the inner workings of an ant's house, or a moth gradually going through its metamorphosis, caterpillar into butterfly, may have